What was the metaverse like in 1995? Before Meta, before Roblox, before VR chat, there were worlds built by users, lived in by dreamers, and populated by the thousands. This was the future, so why is it that 30 years later, no one seems to remember it? What happened to these worlds? Are there still people left, and if so, why? To find out, I set out on a journey back in time to revisit some of these forgotten metaverses and see if anyone still calls them home. But before we dive into the past, we should understand what exactly is the metaverse. The term was first used in a 1992 sci-fi novel called Snow Crash, where it's first described to be a place where humans are represented by a computer-generated avatar interact with each other in a 3D virtual space that uses the metaphor of the real world. But long before Zuckerberg's rebranding of Facebook, there were already people living in the metaverse decades ago, and one of the earliest places they called home was Active Worlds. Released in 1995, Active Worlds was one of the first fully 3D virtual worlds where users could create avatars, build homes, and explore thousands of interconnected user-made worlds. Some schools even held classes in it, and some couples even got married in it. It wasn't a game, it was a digital society, but I never experienced any of that, so today I wanted to see what's left of it. I created my avatar, this classy man named Snowverse, because we're going to be traveling across the metaverse. When I logged in, I found myself standing alone in a hallway. No tutorial, no guidance, just the sound of emptiness. I started moving around, getting used to the controls until I was comfortable enough to hit it jiggy. This is when I found the Worlds tab where I could explore different places people have built. My first stop was a place called Rick's. This world was in black and white with a radio playing some big band jazz. It should have felt lively, but it didn't. It felt rather eerie. I knew I was alone, but it also felt like that I wasn't. Hello? Oh, my fault, sir. I kept moving, visiting other worlds like the snowy mountains of Alaska, a summer camp, a fantasy world, and then finally a beautiful world called America. I don't know why, but as I walked through its empty streets, I felt sad. Like I almost teared up. I've never been in this world before, but it just felt so nostalgic, like I was here before in the past. I later found a memorial for the creator of this world named Jetta Lewis, who's sadly no longer with us, and it just made me feel even more sad, but also happy. Happy that even after so many years, his world still remains here for someone like me to explore. I teleported into a world where an NPC named Harold greeted me. Oh, hey there. My name is Harold Botius and I am a caretaker. I see that you're still very weak. Please step out and stretch a bit. Yep, you look like you've been doing fine after 2 long years. Your new life is about to begin. Oh goodness, you look startled. Yes, 2 years. Cryosleep can seem like an instant, can't it? Better than aging though, haha. Come take a look at this screen, you'll love it. It just felt so dystopian. The only social interaction I got so far was from an NPC who has been waiting years for someone to wake up. Maybe all of this was just a dream like Harold suggested. At this point, I had spent 2 hours exploring different worlds and didn't see a single person. I saw that there were a few people online, but when I joined the worlds, they were nowhere to be seen. It says there's 3 people here, but one of them is probably the police officer. The worlds are big, so maybe they were off somewhere else, and then I joined this world called Mystic Zones where I was in the middle of role-playing as Bruce Wayne when... Whoa, a person.
Howdy.
Bat-themed alien ship.
His name was Charlie's and this was his world. I asked him how he was doing and then... Oh my god, he turned into Superman!
Super.
He said he's been playing since 2002 and some of his buddies still hang out on Saturdays in another world named Sonus Prime. He gave me a tour through a time machine which literally went back in time across different universes. Whoa, look at that. He taught me how to fly and showed me his land that he rents for 2 credits a day. Charlie, what do you love about Active Worlds?
How everything is interconnected with the teleports, at least for an immersive experience.
Do you remember what this place used to be like? Was it filled with people?
Big city, when I used to visit.
Flourishing? Yeah. Charlie has been here since 2002. He's watched the population go from thousands to just a handful, and yet he still stays. After playing for a few hours, I can safely say yes, Active Worlds is pretty much abandoned. But even so, I was able to get a glimpse of what this place used to be like. I went into this game not expecting to find anyone, but I'm glad I was able to meet Charlie. Even if he was the only person I met, thank you Charlie for showing me around Active Worlds. Now, this next game was one of the earliest attempts at building a virtual world with a heavy focus on the social aspect. It's There.com. Launched in 2003, it was a 3D virtual world where people could talk, dress up, drive buggies, and live out their digital lives. For a moment, it was ahead of its time, gaining partnerships with MTV and Coca-Cola, but as years passed, There quietly faded from the spotlight, even shutting down at one point. And yet, the community never let go. They kept the world alive until eventually someone brought it back. Recently, the game saw a resurgence thanks to a viral video by a creator named Galabert, whose journey through this forgotten world inspired thousands, including me, to log in and see what There.com was really about. I made my avatar look like Bob Ross and spawned into a tutorial zone where I met another guy named Cowmans. It turns out that he just joined as well, so I asked if he wanted to explore this world together, in which he replied with sure. The two of us wandered through the tutorial zone side by side until he just disconnected. He never joined back after, so I ended up finishing the tutorial alone and was ready to spawn into the world, expecting to be greeted by a bunch of players due to the recent influx, but the world was empty. There's no one here. Maybe things are just loading in. Hello? Is anyone here? I don't see anyone. I decided to go to another place called Phoenix Park because it said that it was a hotspot, but it was the same. Emptiness. Hello? Where is everybody? I thought that this game would be more lively, but was I wrong? Was I too late to the party? I decided to check out an event that was happening at the moment, and still, I was confused. What? Am I like... But then I heard the sound of engines. Oh, I heard something. Oh, there's someone. Holy crap. So this was Lambo. He was the only person here driving a buggy, but I'm glad that I bumped into him because he told me to go to a place called Zona Island. Apparently that's where all the people hang out. He guided me there and told me to follow him, but he moved so fast that I lost him. I ran into a person named Bobble and told her that I just joined, and then suddenly, like a noob magnet, people started flocking towards me like, oh my gosh, look, it's a newbie, welcome. It was really cute and wholesome. She took me to where the people were, and this is where I met more people like Candy, who was super helpful. We just chatted, and then I got shot.
Zooey mama!
I met even more people like these two who explained to me the auction system in this game. They model their own items and sell it to others, such as this cute mango guy. They also taught me how to use the voice chat and then started saying happy birthday to me. It wasn't even my birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Sha-la-la-la-la.
So the thing with There is that when you speak or chat, all the avatar heads turn towards you and it makes you feel like everyone is judging you.
They would have to stop the whole flotilla, you know, to one man.
What's the flotilla?
No way this guy doesn't know what a flotilla is.
Do you know what a hoverboat is?
A boat that hovers?
Smart man, smart guy.
That's when they invited me on a hoverboat tour. This guy named The Enemy led us across the world, flying over landscapes and explaining how There.com isn't like most games.
Yeah, it's all in one singular. So like I could fly from here to like a different location. It could take an hour, it could take 30 minutes.
So this world was enormous enough for people to build their homes wherever they wish. So when I didn't see any players at first, I was just standing in the wrong corner of a very big world. Eventually we made our way back to Zona Island, where he handed me a paintball gun.
Go ahead and shoot me. As long as I have my force field off. Yeah, look, keep going, keep going. Let me have it.
I did have to leave for the night, and I thanked them all for being so kind. Or how do I exit out of there?
So you can click on the there thing.
Okay, I see it, yeah.
And that says there, and then click exit.
Alright, thank you guys.
If you're on like a VR headset, I would never tell you so you can stay trapped. No, I'm just kidding.
He's been scammed in online games.
That was so cute. I love that. I don't think I've ever felt that welcome in my entire life, both in the game and in real life. There was something so sincere about this game, and the people genuinely made me feel so happy. They didn't treat me like some stranger on the internet, but they treated me like a friend. There.com wasn't a ghost town. It's a living memory held together by people who care, and for a brief moment, I got to be a part of it. I'll be back, There.com. But now, let's jump across the metaverse to this game built on music, fashion, and late-night city vibes. That game was vSide. Originally launched in 2006, vSide was a virtual world where teens across the world could dress up, dance in clubs, and chat with friends across futuristic cities. But like many virtual worlds, vSide eventually faded away. The server shut down and it was gone, until a small community of dedicated fans began bringing it back piece by piece. For the past 6 years, a group of passionate users have been rebuilding vSide from scratch simply because they love the game. So today, I could experience what life was like on vSide 2 decades ago. When I first logged into vSide, I was not looking my best. Man, I look ugly. Oh, there we go. Now we're looking a little classier. I spawned onto a floating platform in the middle of a vast empty ocean. There were no tutorials, nobody around, just me. It felt lonely, but oddly peaceful. I ended up switching to a different dev build to explore more. This time I spawned into a neon-lit city as a girl. There was a club guarded by a bouncer named Bob who obviously let me in because he could tell I was an unk. Inside, the bartenders were NPCs, so I just danced alone. Yeah, The world was beautiful. I kept exploring, passing through alleys, lounges, rooftops, and even though I've never played this game before, I started imagining myself coming home from school, logging in, and finding a spot with my friends just to chat like we're some cool kids that own the city. But now, it's all quiet, abandoned. I just can't believe for the past 6 years, the community has been working to rebuild this game. Even the original creators had abandoned them, yet they've poured their love and time into bringing this game back. I really hope they can do it. I don't know what the future of vSide holds, but after reading through all the devlogs and walking through these empty streets, this place still matters to someone, and that's enough reason to keep it alive. After wandering the empty streets of vSide, I kept wondering, where did everyone go? What happened to all the players after the shutdown? Well, maybe they end up here, in SecondLife. Launched in 2003, SecondLife was a world with many continents. Like the previous metaverse type games, you could buy land, build houses, and socialize. Some people have even become real-life millionaires selling digital property in this game. You could do anything, so I wanted to find out if this world was still alive. I created my character and went with a bald look because I didn't like any of the haircut options it gave me. I spawned into the tutorial area and I was surprised. Immediately, there were a lot of people here at spawn. This world wasn't dead at all. As I walked through the in-game tutorial videos, I accidentally learned to fly. I can fly. Where's it go from here? Once I got used to the controls, I went to check out all the player-made worlds the game had to offer. I went into the nature section and teleported to this world called Locktack Lake. And while the scenery was stunning, no one was here. I decided to visit another world where I found houses in the woods that were being rented by other players, and so I broke into the house. Oh, I can. Just breaking into their little Airbnb for the weekend. This is really cool though. I'm sorry to whoever this place was, but your bed was very comfortable for this homeless man. Eventually, I found someone at the top of the mountain, and that's when What just happened? Oh, that is weird.
Oh, hello there.
Oh, sorry. I'm so, embarrassed right now. I'm so embarrassed.
Well, this is awkward. I'll make my leave now.
That was legit so embarrassing. My mouse didn't even touch her, but that was my cue to leave. I found this rideable noob item and thought it was the funniest thing to help me climb up the mountain, and aside from the lady, my encounters with others were slim. When I did find people, they seemed to either be AFK or just wanted to ignore me.
Howdy.
So I did what anyone else would do. I googled, where do people hang out in SecondLife? Google pointed me to Social Island 10, and when I got there... What is going on? Oh yeah, this was definitely the spot people were, but they were blasting music and I was low-key going deaf, so I decided to make conversation with this lone person away from the crowd.
Howdy.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. You?
This guy was ND Solo. I told him that I just started playing and was looking for some normal people to talk to because if you couldn't tell, everyone in this game were just so NSFW. He told me he's been playing this game for 6 years and I thought, man, this might be the first normal person I've encountered because he was talking about board games, but then...
Playing board games? Heck no. I am pro, bro. I get chicks and make them lay eggs.
Nah, no way. This is so weird. Right, never mind. Still, I wasn't ready to give up. I hopped from world to world until I came across a quiet place for horse lovers. There, sitting calmly on a fence, was this person named Emil. Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
Fine, you?
Doing well, thanks.
That's great.
It's my first day playing and I'm just looking for some normal people to talk to.
First of all, nobody here is normal.
We laugh and we talk and I asked her what she liked about Second Life and what she responded.
Riding, some people, I can be what I want.
You like horses?
Yep, the big brown is mine. It's my love.
She even let me ride a horse. After hours exploring and running into some very strange people, I ended my journey with someone who reminded me what these virtual worlds meant to them. I can be what I want. Sure, I met some strange people, but maybe that's the secret to Second Life. It's about identity, about choosing how you show up in a world where no one knows who you are. After exploring and meeting so many people, I can safely say this game is far from abandoned. Even if I did accidentally commit an offense up in the mountains, I'm glad I was able to find a bit of humanity and make a friend. After spending time wandering through the beautifully player-made worlds of Second Life, I started to wonder, where do you even go from here? Well, it turns out that some people didn't just leave Second Life, they teleported away to a whole nother universe. In fact, there's a video online where the team of Second Life made a portal that bridged to another world. That world was Open Simulator.
Within the space of but several seconds, they had arrived on the OpenSim virtual world.
Launched in 2007, OpenSim isn't just another game, it's described as the open source metaverse. Now, I'll be honest, I had no idea how to even get into OpenSim. I've never even heard of it before and I could barely find anything online about it. It was like this place didn't even exist. There were no flashy trailers, no YouTube tutorials, just scattered forum posts and dead links. The whole process was so sketchy. I had to download this thing called Firestorm Viewer, paste a login URL, switch my grid to OS Grid, and finally I was able to create my account. Because of how complex it was to even find this game, I completely expected it to be abandoned, but when I logged in, oh wow, there's actually a lot of people here. It felt like I just uncovered a lost civilization. Some of them greeted me, others told me that they've been living in this world for over a decade, and I kept calling it a game, but they were quick to correct me.
Actually, it is not a game. It is a virtual world where you can make and play games.
And they were right. To them, this wasn't something you played, it was something that you lived in. I'm just so used to referring anything virtual like this as a game. I asked if they could show me around, but they replied with,
I'm sorry, it's like you asked me to make a tour in the IRL world.
That was painfully true. From the previous places I visited, the world pretty much felt infinite. It's hard to see every corner of this massive universe built by players. So I began my journey across the metaverse. I hopped between destinations and like usual, it was hard to find people. Hello. There are. There's some people. These are all German.
Are people online?
Yes. I was completely expecting nobody. I was completely expecting an abandoned game. But there were people in the lobby when I first joined. I was actually able to talk to them.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited. After not having any luck finding players, I discovered something called hypergrid travel. You see, OpenSim isn't just one world, it's actually hundreds, thousands of interconnected grids, each one hosted by someone different. Imagine if Second Life, Dare.com, Active Worlds all lived on the same internet highway. That's what the hypergrid is. It lets you jump across virtual universes, each with their own rules, communities, landscapes, and memories. Now the footage of the Second Life team doing interdimensional travel all made sense. I figured out how to enable it in my settings and typed in a few coordinates that I found on a forum, and that's when I found them. The people. Hello?
Voice off, please, Snow. We have a live singer.
Oh, sorry about that. It seemed like there was a live performer, so I apologized and joined the crowd. I couldn't hear the performer, so I just danced. In silence. Eventually, I figured out how to turn my volume up, and the performance was beautiful. Oh, this is cute.
Oh, she's playing.
Yeah, this is really cool.
It's on beat.
Do you know this song? You gonna sing with me?
You know, this whole time I was in OpenSim, I felt this strange uneasiness. Not because the people weren't kind, they absolutely were, but more because it felt like I wasn't supposed to be here. Like I had stumbled into a world that I wasn't meant to find. A place that had been quietly living on, kept alive by the great community of people who had always been here. And then I show up, a newcomer still trying to understand how to even move or teleport. Everyone had already built their homes, their friendships, their lives here. I kept visiting world after world, but the people were always tucked away in their little circles, laughing, dancing together like they've always done hundreds of times. And I felt like a stranger, passing through a small town. Even when I did talk to people like this one kind stranger in a place called the Alternate Metaverse, she told me how much she loved it here because OpenSim was free and because of the amazing people. This seemed like a common theme across the metaverse, the people. They were the ones who made these worlds feel special, and maybe that's why I felt so out of place, because this wasn't a world made for tourists, it was a refuge for those who already found it. And though they welcomed me with warmth and kindness, I couldn't shake the feeling that I didn't belong here. It wasn't abandonment that I found in OpenSim. It was preservation, a digital civilization quietly living on, too small to be seen from the outside. But I'm grateful I got to visit this side of the internet. Thank you to everyone I met in OpenSim for letting me peek into your world, even if it was just for a moment. After wandering through the vast worlds of OpenSim, I loaded into one last virtual space, IMVU. Now, I thought IMVU was like the others, a place where you could walk around, explore cities, and discover player-made creations, but it's not. Instead of world building, this virtual world from 2004 had a heavy focus on conversation building. I started by customizing my avatar, and things were going well until I stumbled across some ridiculous accessory options. A giant eggplant suit, a unicorn head. Of course, I had to choose the goofy options of having a horse head. My first stop was a quiet coffee shop with just one other person.
Hello.
No way this weird horse guy is talking to me. I'm just going to keep acting like I'm not here.
The silence was deafening, so I teleported to a livelier chat room and met a guy named Klein. Within seconds, he asked to be friends, and we eventually scooted over to a couch because, well, we were standing uncomfortably close, and that's when this girl Arena joined us. What are some of your favorite memories of this game over those 11 years, Arena?
Time with friends and roleplay associated. You can interact with people like shake hands, high five, and other social interactions. But it's common courtesy to ask first.
Arena and I chatted for a long time, and I learned a lot from her. I thanked her for the conversation, added her, and moved on to another chat room. That's where I met this person Spitnot, who told me about the friends they used to talk to every day here. But over time, life gets busy. People move on. IMVU wasn't like the other virtual worlds I visited. It was just chat rooms, and yet I had some of the most genuine conversations here. Of course, there were some internet trolls that we ran into, but this place wasn't abandoned. It was alive with voices, and in the middle of it was me, just a dude with a horse head trying to make friends, and I did. Before I log off and conclude the video, I wanted to bring everything full circle. Remember Charlie from Active Worlds? Well, he invited me to join his buddies on Saturday on their world Sona's Prime, so I did. And the moment I joined, I was greeted like a celebrity.
And I'd like to welcome Snowverse to the party. All hail the most infamous and popular Snowverse.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, let's get it.
And we're busting it down.
There were only 5 of us, but we danced, we laughed, we chatted, and in that moment, I finally understood what was the metaverse like in 1995. It was never about the technology. It wasn't the graphics, the avatars, or the digital properties that you could purchase. It was about the people. People who built these worlds, people who lived in them, and people who never left after the world moved on. Without them, these places wouldn't exist. These were forgotten places tucked away in the corners of the internet, but they were never truly abandoned. Because like Charlie and his friends, someone was always waiting, just in case you came back. To the players who stayed, thank you for keeping the metaverse alive. If you enjoyed watching this video, check out my other videos if you want. Thanks, bye.